Hello, this is New Vision TV. I am Ruth Naseje. After Dr. Balu Chigundu's 14 years at the helm of the Electoral Commission, President Museveni nominated Justice Simon Byabakama to replace him with Hajat Aisha Luwiga as the deputy. The new team follows in the footsteps of sharply defined predecessors, and New Vision TV traces the genesis of the challenges ahead. Simon Byabakama, Aisha Luwiga, and their four colleagues take over commission, which has a mixed reputation of admiration and distrust from sections of the public. In its interim days under Mr. Stephen Akaboy, the EC enjoyed massive public confidence and admiration. It started computerization of the voters' register and conducted its first election in 1994 for the Constituent Assembly, then the general presidential elections in 1996, followed by separate parliamentary elections of the same year. The commission that was responsible for the 2001 elections was chaired by Haj Aziz Kasuja, and that time there were several petitions, including one challenging the election of President Museveni, lodged by his runner-up, Dr. Kizza Besigye. Kasuja's EC faced many complaints of fraud, and all the commissioners were sacked, except Reverend Sister Margaret Maguba, who ran it until the appointment of Chigundu. Former Ethics Minister Miriam Matembe claims that Chigundu's shortcomings are understandable, for he was appointed on sectarian grounds as then-line Minister Janet Mukwaya was pushing for a Muslim to take the job. Chigundu's first major assignment was the 2006 general election. It was a big task as the main challenger was in prison. Although Attorney General Kidu Makubuya advised that Dr. Besigye should not be nominated because of the capital offense charges against him, Chigundu ignored the advice and proceeded to nominate Besigye. Besigye challenged the results, and the Supreme Court ruling went very badly for the EC. All 7 justices agreed with Besigye that the EC had broken several electoral laws and failed to conduct free and fair elections.
And there have been recommendations from the courts, the Supreme Court, from everywhere, all indicating that there is need to reform the way the Electoral Commission is constituted.
After the 2011 elections, calls for electoral reforms started getting louder over the past 5 years. Civil society, religious leaders, and political leaders have been calling for change in the electoral laws and stripping the president of powers to appoint the EC, but there hasn't been any major reform yet. After the 2016 election, the last to be presided over by Chigundu, the Supreme Court also recommended reforms. President Museveni has also cited several reforms needed in the electoral process. Chigundu's successor will need to work hard to win back the public's confidence. Already, Dr. Besigye has laughed off Byabakama's appointment, recalling that he was the one who prosecuted the rape and treason charges against him in 2005 and 6, which were dismissed and trumped up by the High Court.
From the word go, the commission has no chance of being legitimate.
The new EC has to immediately embark on their first task, which is organizing the nationwide local council elections that are late by almost a decade. Moving on, the AU has commended Somalia for successfully conducting peaceful, ongoing elections. The head of the African Union mission in Somalia, Ambassador Francisco Caetano Madeira, said the electoral process is an encouraging path to a fully fledged democratic franchise. We have a report. Before the African Union and the UPDF intervention, Somalia has been a failed state without a government for 20 years. But now they are on our way to democracy, having conducted successful elections that started in October. The success is shared with various security bodies who are keeping an eye to the process.
AMISOM military and police are working very closely with the Somali security forces to secure the election in all fronts and with tremendous success.
Francisco Caetano Madeira, the head of the African Union mission in Somalia, reiterated AMISOM's commitment to ensuring Somalia's security institutions are strong enough to secure the country when the AU troops leave. AMISOM's key priorities in Somalia include recovery of the remaining territory under Al-Shabaab and building capacity within the state institutions like the police and the army.
AMISOM is proud to be part of this historic event, which will usher in a new chapter for the country. The African Union remains heavily involved in the electoral process. The AU is providing technical advice at institutional level, aiding the process of reconciliation and dialogue among various parties, and more significantly, securing the election itself.
Somalia's 2016 electoral process began in October with elections of the newly elected upper house of the federal parliament. So far, 43 out of 54 Senate seats have been filled. Elections for the lower house are continuing in Jubaland, Southwest, Puntland, Malmadag, and Hishabelt states. At the end of the exercise, 275 members of the House of the People, as lower house is known, together with members of the upper house, will elect Somalia's new president. And now for our daily Pearl of Africa beauty, we take a look at Soroti Rock. In the district of Soroti District is where the Soroti Rock lies, being an extraordinary feature and setting the district apart from other districts in the eastern part of Uganda. The Soroti Rock is one of the sceneries that contribute to why Uganda is called the Pearl of Africa. The views from the top of the rock are stunning, and it is amazing to see Soroti and the Teso region clearly laid out. Let's take a look.
It's hard to get lost in Soroti. No matter where you stand in town, a large rock formation known as Soroti Rock stretches into the sky, making it a handy navigation tool. This rock is a volcanic plug formed when magma hardens within a vent on an active volcano. It is technically illegal to climb Soroti Rock both because of its clear view of a military training facility and because it houses water tanks that supply the entire district. From the crowded market streets to the stately president's house to the lush countryside, everything is within the grasp from the top of Soroti Rock.
That is it for now. Thank you for watching. Remember, you can get us on your mobile phone, on your tablet, on your desktop, and anywhere on the go. I am Ruth Naseje.